The Anderson manufacturing headquarters looked almost frozen in time. Same oak-paneled walls, same scuffed marble floors, same portrait of my grandfather looming in the lobby, his eyes fixed on a future he never lived to see. He'd been gone 5 years now, but everything remained as he left it. Everything, except the man occupying his office. Marcus Sterling, my stepfather for 3 exhausting years. He sat behind the massive mahogany desk like he belonged there, though his tailored suit and slicked-back hair clashed with the room's quiet dignity. He was typing something, deliberately ignoring me. I cleared my throat. "You wanted to see me?" He glanced up, smile rehearsed, eyes cold. "Sophia, yes, please, sit." I didn't. 6 months as head of operations had taught me one thing: never give Marcus the high ground. "I've been reviewing your performance reports," he began, closing his laptop. "They're troubling." I raised an eyebrow. "Productivity's up 15%. Employee satisfaction's the highest it's been in 10 years. He waved a hand. "Statistics can lie. This isn't about numbers. It's about culture. Fit." My jaw tightened. Fit. This company needs strong, traditional leadership. Someone who understands family values. I let out a short laugh. "Family values? You married my mother 3 years ago and now you're an expert on our legacy?" His smile dropped. "I'm CEO. Sophia, your mother signed over control when we married. After you convinced her she couldn't handle the company alone. She made the right decision," he said, rising, trying to tower over me. "And now I'm making another. You're fired." I didn't move. "On what grounds?" "I don't need grounds. You're not really family." His voice dripped with contempt. "Get out." I pulled out my phone and tapped a number. Marcus's eyes followed every motion. "Harrison Industries. James Harrison speaking." "Hi, Dad," I said, watching Marcus pale. "Dad?" he whispered. "Your father is James Harrison?" I nodded. "CEO of our largest client, the one responsible for 60% of Anderson's revenue." James chuckled through the speaker. "Ah, so Marcus finally figured it out." "But your name, Anderson," Marcus stammered. "My mother's name," I said coolly. "She kept it after marrying the man my grandfather trusted to help run this company." "You've been spying." "No, I've been protecting this company from you." I pulled a thick folder from my bag and dropped it onto his desk. 3 years' worth of evidence. Embezzlement, offshore accounts, phantom consulting fees. "You thought no one was watching?" "You have nothing," he said, but his voice shook. My father's voice cut in. "Actually, she does. Sophia's been our compliance officer for 2 years. Every document, legally obtained." Marcus lunged for his laptop. "Don't bother," I said. "The SEC has everything." He went green. "You'll destroy us," he said. "No, you tried to destroy us. I'm saving what's left." I lifted the phone again. "Dad, initiate Protocol 7. "With pleasure," James replied. "Marcus, Harrison Industries is terminating all contracts with Anderson Manufacturing. Effective immediately. Full penalties apply." Marcus collapsed into his chair. "That'll bankrupt us." "Unless," I sat, finally, in his chair, my grandfather's chair. "Unless what?" he asked. I placed a second document on the table. "Unless you sign over everything, back to the rightful owner." "Your mother?" "No," I said. "She trusted you, and you burned that trust. I mean me." He stared at the document, hands trembling. "You planned this since, what? Since I fired Thomas from accounting? Since I laid off Maria?" "The board won't stand for it," he said weakly. "There's a board meeting in an hour," I said. "Want to know what else is in that file? Like how you paid your kids through shell companies?" The pen scratched across the page. "Done. My mother will never forgive you." "She's having breakfast with my father as we speak," I said. Turns out they had a lot to talk about. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. "Right on schedule," I said. "The FBI's not here for the company, Marcus, just for you. How long have you been planning this?" I paused at the door, glancing at my grandfather's portrait. "Since the day you thought you could steal his legacy." Then I turned to him. "You were right about one thing. I'm not family. I'm worse." Agents entered. I stepped aside. I'm the heir, and I protect what's mine. As they cuffed him, I added, "Oh, and Marcus? Clean out your desk. You're fired." The morning after his arrest, I arrived before sunrise. The factory floor still smelled of oil and promise. I ran my hand along the machines like I had as a kid. My phone buzzed non-stop. News travels fast in a town like ours. One message stood out. From Jack Sterling. "You'll regret this. Family meeting, 9 a.m. Main conference room. Be there." I smiled. Jack never had his father's patience or subtlety. At 9 sharp, I walked into the conference room in my grandfather's leather jacket, worn over a crisp navy suit. Jack and his sister Emma sat flanking a smug-looking lawyer. "Glad you could join us," Jack sneered. "We have business to discuss." I took the head seat, my grandfather's. "Make it quick. I've got a company to run." Emma slammed a folder onto the table. "Our company. Dad's shares transfer to us upon interruption of leadership." I raised an eyebrow, opened my laptop. "Nice theory. Wrong." Their lawyer leaned forward. "The transfer clause is binding." "No," I said. "The clause is illegal. It was never valid." I turned the laptop toward them, the original company documents glowing on the screen. "My grandfather put an ironclad succession clause in place," I said evenly. "Ownership of Anderson Manufacturing could only pass to blood relatives or pre-approved successors. Marcus never had either. His marriage to my mother gave him temporary management rights, not ownership." Jack looked like he'd swallowed broken glass. "That's not possible. Our lawyers reviewed everything." "Your father's lawyers," I said, my voice cool. "The same ones who missed the embezzlement, the offshore accounts, and the attempted sale of our patents to competitors." Emma blanched. "You're lying." I didn't answer. I pressed a button on my phone. "Mr. Davidson, would you come in?" The door opened. In walked Anderson Manufacturing's original legal counsel, the man who'd stood beside my grandfather for 30 years, until Marcus forced him into early retirement. "Everything Miss Anderson has said is accurate," he said, placing a thick file on the table. "I helped write those succession clauses. Marcus Sterling never had a legal claim to this company." Jack shot to his feet. "This is insane. We'll fight this. In court." I didn't flinch. "Sit down, Jack, unless you'd like me to play the recordings." His mouth opened, closed. "What recordings?" I tapped the screen again. Jack's voice filled the room, discussing how to hide assets offshore. Then Emma's, laughing about selling off company divisions for fast cash. "The thing about tech," I said, pausing the playback, "is that it keeps receipts, calls, emails, surveillance footage, even your meetings with our competitors last month." Their lawyer was now shuffling papers, clearly rethinking his retainer. "Here's what's going to happen," I said. "You'll both resign from your positions. You'll return every dollar stolen under your father's leadership, quietly." Emma's voice cracked. "And if we don't?" "I hand this entire package to the FBI, the SEC, and every major newspaper in the state. You'll lose more than jobs, you'll lose reputations, freedom, and any shred of sympathy you think your last name buys you." There was silence, then a cough from their lawyer. "Perhaps we should discuss options." "No," I said firmly. "There are no options. You have 1 hour to clear your offices. After that, security will treat you as trespassers." Jack stood slowly. "You can't do this to us. We're family." "No," I said, locking eyes with him. "You're thieves. You just happen to share my stepfather's name." As they left in silence, my phone buzzed, a text from my father. "Board meeting in 30, ready to show them what a real CEO looks like?" I smiled and touched the worn leather of my grandfather's chair. "I'm on my way." The boardroom was tense when I walked in. 12 members, all of whom had backed Marcus, sat with tight shoulders and downcast eyes. "Good morning," I said. "Let's talk about the future of Anderson Manufacturing, and the part you played in nearly destroying it." I laid everything out, the illegal contracts, the kickbacks, the willful blindness. "You have 2 options," I concluded. "Resign now and cooperate, or face federal charges. You have 30 seconds to decide." One by one, chairs scraped back. Within 5 minutes, only 3 remained, the ones who had fought Marcus from the start. Let's rebuild, I told them, the right way. Just then, another alert. My assistant stepped in. Call from the prison, she said. Marcus Sterling wants to speak. I nodded. Put him through. His voice crackled through the speaker, low and bitter. You think you've won, but you have no idea what's coming. I do, actually, I said. The SEC froze your offshore accounts, the patents are back where they belong, and your little deal with the local paper? They're running the real story tomorrow. What story? The truth. About you. About how you seduced a grieving widow and gutted her family's legacy for profit, and how your children helped. Silence. She'll never forgive you, he spat. I looked toward the office door. My mother stood there, silent, composed, her eyes damp but steady. She already has, I said. She just needed proof. I ended the call. My mother stepped inside, her fingers brushing over the polished desk, my grandfather's. He never understood, she murmured. This was never about money. No, I agreed. It was about legacy, about protecting what matters. She picked up a photo of my grandfather and me, taken in this very office when I was 12. He'd be proud of you. I know. I looked out over the factory floor below. And this was only the beginning. 3 weeks later, the damage report was worse than expected. Marcus had buried himself deep into the company's finances, but we were clawing it back. A knock. Come in. Michael, my assistant, stepped in, his face pale. You need to see this. He handed me a tablet showing security footage from 3 a.m., a figure in a janitor's uniform photographing confidential files. Have you identified them? Yes, he said. Lisa Sterling, Marcus's youngest. The one who stayed quiet, the one I'd overlooked. Where is she now? In marketing. I stood, heart steady. Call security, and tell Harrison Peters's office to prep a disbarment request. I found Lisa in her glass-walled office, frantically typing. Deleting evidence? I asked. She spun around. I don't know what you're talking about. I dropped the tablet in front of her and hit play. Try again. Her face went white. They forced me, she whispered. Foreign investors. The ones Dad promised the company to. They funded the takeover. They want everything, today. I sat across from her. How much do they know? Everything. And they're not just investors. They're dangerous. I smiled. I know. I've been tracking them for months. She stared, stunned, as I picked up the phone and dialed. FBI, Agent Thompson. It's Sophia Anderson, I said. Lisa Sterling is ready to talk. What followed was a blur. Federal agents, Homeland Security, corporate attorneys. Lisa's confession didn't just crack the case open, it detonated it. Her testimony sparked an international investigation into one of the largest industrial espionage rings in U.S. history. But as shocking as that was, it wasn't the day's biggest revelation. At 2 p.m., as I sat with the FBI reviewing her statement, my phone buzzed. Message from the prison. Marcus Sterling had been found unconscious in his cell. Apparent suicide attempt. But they'd recovered a note. Its contents shook the foundation of our industry. Marcus hadn't just been working with foreign investors, he was part of a conspiracy that spanned decades, involving corporate sabotage, blackmail, and silent takeovers. And among the names listed in the note was one I never expected. Harrison Industries. My father's company. That night, I sat alone in my office, surrounded by evidence, every timestamp, every wire transfer, every buried contract my father had helped obscure. The puzzle pieces snapped into place, his strategic absences, his support during Marcus's takedown, how he'd nudged me toward exposing Marcus, never warning me I'd find him at the center. My phone rang, his name lit the screen. You know, I said, without preamble. There was a pause, then a quiet sigh. Of course you figured it out. You're too much like your grandfather. Was any of it real? I asked. Or was I just another move on your chessboard? He hesitated. Everything I did was to protect you. No, you used me to eliminate your competition. You made me think I was defending legacy, when really, I was clearing a path for your own empire. The company was always meant for you, he said softly. Marcus was dangerous. I just sped things up. I stared at my grandfather's portrait. Cold, clear rage burned behind my calm voice. You should know, I didn't stop at Marcus. I investigated everyone. The line went silent. Check your email, I continued. You'll find copies of everything I've compiled on Harrison Industries. It's already backed up in multiple secure locations. What do you want? A clean break, I said. Your company divests entirely from Anderson Manufacturing. You retire, quietly, and cooperate with the authorities. In return, I keep your name out of the press. You'd blackmail your own father? I closed my eyes for a moment. You were never my father. You were just another man trying to steal what my grandfather built. After the call ended, I turned to find Mom in the doorway. You knew? I asked. She nodded slowly. Your grandfather told me before he died, made me promise to wait. He wanted you to uncover the truth yourself, when you were ready. Ready to face it? I said, or ready to fight back? Her smile was weary but proud. Both. He always believed you were the only one who truly understood this company, not just the business, the purpose. The next morning, I stood before hundreds of employees in the main assembly bay. People from every floor and department filled the space, anxious, exhausted, waiting. Anderson Manufacturing has stood for 3 generations. I began. We've survived wars, recessions, and now, betrayal from within. Their eyes locked on me, searching for hope. This company isn't just machinery and patents. It's people, families, legacies, and starting today, we're honoring that. I outlined the changes: profit sharing, education stipends, a seat at the table for every worker. This isn't my company anymore, I finished. It's ours. The roar that followed echoed through steel and concrete, not just applause, relief, renewal. Later that evening, I found a letter in my grandfather's desk, faded envelope, my name in his handwriting. My dearest Sophia. If you're reading this, it means you saw through them. Your father, Marcus, all of them who thought they could take what we built. But you, my quiet, sharp-eyed granddaughter, you were always the one I trusted. You understand that real power doesn't come from fear or force, it comes from building something that lasts. You've probably made choices that hurt, that cost you people you once trusted. But remember this. A legacy built on truth may be harder to build, but it's impossible to steal. Take care of our people, Sophia, they're the soul of this place. With pride and love. Grandpa. I stood at the office window, watching night shift workers arrive, coffee in one hand, lunchbox in the other. No more crisis texts, no more threats. Just the hum of machines and the rhythm of honest work. I wasn't just Anderson Manufacturing CEO now. I was its guardian. Its legacy. And this time, I would decide who was worthy of it.